Salatu wassalamu ala rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Abdul Hakim Qasim, and I welcome you to another edition of Everyday Muslim Show on Women Radio 91.7 FM. Today is Saturday, 11th July 2026, corresponding to the 26th day of Muharram, 1448 after Hijrah. It's the last Saturday of the first month of the Hijrah year 1448 AH. So we are, in the last days of Muharram. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for gift of life and that of good health. Pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to spare our lives. If sparing our lives is the best for us. On this program, Everyday Muslim Show, we try to address misconceptions about Islam, foster peaceful coexistence within the society, and guide the everyday Muslim on their journey in Islam. This is brought to you by the Muslim Public Affairs Center, MPAC, in partnership with Women Radio 91.7 FM. Allah the Almighty, the Exalted, says in glorious Quran chapter 66, Surah Al-Tahrim, verse 6, Allah says, O you who believe, save yourselves and your families from a fire whose fuel is men and stones, over which are appointed angels, stern and severe, who flinch not from executing the commands they receive from Allah, but do precisely what they are commanded. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was also reported to have said, command your children to pray when they become 7 years old, and beat them to it if they do not pray when they are 10 years old, and have them sleep in separate beds. You find this hadith in Sunan Abi Dawud. The Prophet also says, a father giving his child a good moral education is better than giving a whole sire, that is a measure of food, in charity. We find this tradition in Sunan At-Tirmidhi. Today, inshallah, I want to take a look at a very important topic, and that has to do with we are educating minds but losing character. What happened to Tarbiyah? We are educating minds but losing character. What happened to Tarbiyah? And our guest to take us through that today is none other than Dr. Sulaiman Alagoku. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alhamdulillah. Happy New Hijrah. I think this is the first time we're meeting this Hijrah.
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Well, this program is streaming live on YouTube via the Women Radio page. Search Women Radio on YouTube, click on the page and join to view the studio live. Later on the program, we'll open our phone lines for you to call in and share your thoughts. The program again is Everyday Muslim, is brought to you by the Muslim Public Affairs Center, MPAC, partnership with Women Radio 91.7 FM. We're using this opportunity to tell you that they have an avenue to bring your product, services, program, events, and others to the attention of the general public. This is a very good platform that you can do, that you can utilize. We urge you to bring your sponsor, adverts, and at the same time, we're also seeking your sponsorship to keep this program going. Pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you abundantly as you hearken to this call. Like I said earlier, we are educating minds. We were looking at the topic. We're educating minds but losing character. What happened to Tarbiyah? And Dr. Sulaiman Ogunmiwa is here with us. For those of us actually meeting him for the first time, you might be wondering who exactly is the person that we have here. He is a known face here, but it's possible that we have someone listen to the program for the first time. Dr. Ogunmiwa is the Director General of the Office of Education Quality Assurance at Lagos State. He is a seasoned education professional with extensive experience in educational administration, quality assurance, and counseling services. With over 25 years of experience as a licensed counselor, Dr. Ogunmiwa has served across various levels of educational leadership and policy implementation. He is a fellow of the Institute of Islamic Finance Professionals and currently serves as the chairman of the Board of Incorporated Trustees of First Class Muslim Foundation. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's a pleasure to have you once again on this program.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for having me.
All right. So, for the discuss today, today we live in a world where academic achievements are celebrated more than ever. Parents invest heavily in quality education. Children earn impressive degrees, and technology has made knowledge readily available. Despite these advancements, many people are asking troubling questions. Why do dishonesty, disrespect, indiscipline, and moral decline seem to be increasing? Has education become more about producing successful professionals than responsible human beings? Have we unintentionally replaced character building with certificate building? And what happened to Tarbiyah? That concept of holistic nurturing of faith, values, discipline, and good character that once formed the foundation of families and communities, especially for those of believers. So these are the questions we want to explore today with our guest, Dr. Sulaiman Ogumiwa. So we urge all of you to get along with us as we journey through this idea of, we are nurturing our children, we are educating them, but it seems that as we are doing that, we are also losing their character. Then the question begs, what has actually happened to Tarbiyah? And to lay the foundation, Dr. Gumiwa. So when we say Tarbiyah, what exactly does it mean, and how is that, how does that differentiate from simply teaching someone probably religious knowledge or sending them to Islamic school that, people today call madrasa? So what exactly, how does Tarbiyah really differ from, sending our children to this, madrasa, ileku, as Yorubas will call it, or probably someone saying, oh, at least in my school, we do IRK or we do CRK, we do all this religious knowledge. So, how does Tarbiyah really differ from this concept?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. Thank you very much once again for having me on this program. It's always very exciting to be here. In spite of my little cold, I still feel I should be here because I really always feel happy being part of this program. Yeah, the subject matter before us has to do with Tarbiyah, and Tarbiyah is an Arabic word, and I don't want people to start checking the English dictionary for this. Tarbiyah is actually an Arabic word, and it has, a similar root with what is called Rob, which is one of the names of Allah, and this means that one who nurtures, who sustains, who brings something to its full and intended maturity. And a very good scenario I can use to paint this is a farmer who does not just plant a seed and walk away, but rather waters it, protects it from pests, prunes it, and watches the season. Is it hot? Is it dry season? Is it wet season? So that he can regulate whatever is going to give to the plant. So that's ongoing, and it's a patient cultivation of affairs of a particular thing or human being. It is not just one single event. And this is different actually from when you say ta'alim. Ta'alim is just listening to passing knowledge, designed to be able to also do a bit of what Tarbiyah is supposed to do. So, in the words of the Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said that he has been sent to come and perfect character. It means that no matter the amount of knowledge that you get from him, is how to actually perfect your character. So if you have this knowledge and you don't have character, then it means you don't have tarbiyah. Tarbiyah means that you take care of the total life of a being to make that person, well knowledgeable and also very responsible when it comes to character. So it is not just an academic project, but it is a project that takes care of the whole of a person. So tarbiyah is what is encouraged that we give to our children and not just sending them to madrasa.
Oh, so it's a whole package, a total package.
Yeah.
The nurturing of the totality of the personality of a child, beyond just probably sending the person to school or saying, okay, listen to this lecture or I'm giving you this piece of advice. It's a whole gamut
Yes, an integration of the beliefs, the character, the emotion, the discipline, emotional intelligence, everything packaged together in one person.
All right. So now looking at this, we know quite well that many parents, they spare no expense in securing the best kind of education for their children. But as much as they do that, we still continue to have complaints about, moral decline in the society. Complain about the fact that our children are not reflecting, this character. In fact, some parents will feel like, is it that my investment is not actually going to waste because I really can't see a manifestation of the amount of money I have invested in this, children's education. So where do you think we actually have gone wrong, in this regard? So beyond probably just spending, is there any other thing probably that parents are not doing, all right, that is responsible for what we are seeing in the society, that we have children that lack character despite the huge financial investment of their parents in their education?
Yeah, so truly, parents are investing heavily in education, and everyone is doing this. Even government is investing heavily on
Absolutely.
education. Look at the uh, kidnapping of children from
Oh,
Oyo
really?
State. We thank
Yes.
God that they have been released now.
Alhamdulillah. Rabbil Alameen.
Now, government has invested a lot. But look at what we get in return. Some disgruntled elements still go ahead to do kidnapping. So, in the same vein, I'm not going to be defensive here. For parents, I'm also a parent, and I know how much we spend on education. The truth of the matter is that we have outsourced what is called our personal amana.
Hmm.
Yeah, the Prophet ﷺ said,
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Kulukum ra'in wa
Kullukum
kulukum mas'ulin an ra'iyati. That each of you is a shepherd, and each of you is responsible for his flock. Now, it means that the parents are responsible, they are the primary shepherd of their child's character. As the Yorubas will say, Ile Latin ko eshorode. So many parents today have quietly transferred that responsibility to the school, to their Islamic teacher, to the mosque, because they pay fee for this and they assume that that should be done. Now, so there is no school that can love your child, that can model your child, that can correct your child in private, in the way that you can do it as a parent. So the first advice is parents should not absolutely outsource this personal amana. We still have that responsibility towards our children. Secondly, is that a lot of parents measure success by what is visible. You see your child eating well, growing well, looking good, dresses well, or goes out and got a first class, get a certificate, is the best student in graduation, and we feel that this is fine. We even have children who have memorized the Quran and they get certificate for memorizing the whole of the Quran. Now, these are just measurable, factors. They are, somebody said they are photographable. When you take a picture, you say, oh, this is my child and this is good. But character is slow, it's invisible. It does not actually reflect in the certificate that has been collected by your child. So you need to take your time to look at the actual character of your child. If you don't know your child, who else do you think will know your child? You gave birth to this child. This child, took that milk of human kindness from you. So you are in the best position to know that, yes, this is, again, we have to separate knowledge, acquisition from tazkiyah, from purification. Even though your child will go to the best school in the world, when they still come back home, you have that responsibility to sit them down and also purify their soul. Because the truth is, most of the places where we send our children to, they don't purify their souls. I have seen the case of somebody that goes to, an IF's college, and yet comes back with bad character. May Allah save us from some of this fitna. So it is important for parents to ensure that they focus on their children, and finally is that they must connect with these children before they correct them. When you don't connect with your child very well, correction becomes very difficult. Correction becomes defensive. Correction becomes an issue. But when you have connected with them, even when you correct them, they are happy that their parents are correcting them. When there's a disconnect, every correction is like a battlefront.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. This that you have just mentioned, there are two things came to my mind. First is the fact that when you say parents have actually abdicated their responsibility, so a lot of people will be like, yeah, some parents even actually go to school to actually fight. After all, I've paid. So why are you guys disturbing me? That it's your junior job, as if the school teachers are the ones that you look at number of hours they spend in school compared to the number of hours they spend elsewhere, and we still expect them to actually be perfect, model of what we want them to be when they spend more time with us. And the second one actually was the statement you made last now, that when we actually fail to connect with our children, that correction becomes a battle. And that brought, I just picture myself with my son. He's very, very young, that he is not yet 7. And I know how difficult it is for us to, we struggle, because like, this boy is just, come on. You feel like this boy is getting on me. And the reality is, every time you just stop, if you like shout till tomorrow, you just continue to look at you like this, I will not move. until you probably find a way to bring him closer, to calm down. You have to calm down actually. If you
Mm,
don't calm down, to really get him you know close to you, become friendly, before I can say, don't you know this is wrong?
mm,
That is the only time he would respond. Every other time, unless probably probably decide to bring out a cane, or you force him, you drag him, else he
mm.
will not move. So I that really touched me, that we really actually have to connect before we correct, and that is
Absolutely.
something really really important. Now,
Absolutely.
we have different agents in the society that actually try to nurture the children. So, but then, looking at the family, the school, and the society, who would you say has contributed the most to the apparent decline in this tarbiyah that we complain about, that is absent, and why? Which of this is it? The
Okay, so
family, is it the school, or the society as a
this.
whole? I think is more responsible for this decline in characters,
So
spiritually.
let me start with this Yoruba adage that says that I think in the particular place I read it said Ojumeji, another place it said Ojumeri.
Yeah,
Okay,
bímọ ìgbà ojú
Lombimo,
ní tọ́.
Ibauju, Lonto.
Mm,
Now that lays a
that's
very
it.
strong foundation for the fact that everybody is responsible.
Mm,
Now, if I look at it from the Islamic point of view, it is layered.
mm,
I mean, different layer has their responsibility. It's not just on one person.
mm,
But the most important and fundamental and foundational is the family.
mm,
Everything else is either a kind of reinforcement or an erosion of the
mm.
foundation that has been built. Now, you remember the Prophet ﷺ said
Sallallahu alaihi
in
wasallam.
one of his sayings that every child is born upon a
A
fitra,
fitra.
a natural, pure disposition. It is the parent who now makes him whatever he wants to become.
Mm,
Now, it means that there's a foundation in that has been with the child. And subsequently, because the child will not live with the parent forever, but the child will have been with the parent for a particular period of time.
mm,
And that is where they now have to try to, shape what they want the child to become.
mm,
So the parents are the first, then the school, then the neighborhood, then the state. Now, the extent to which we are able to provide an enabling environment for that child is what makes the child to now bring out that foundation that has been laid. I mean, now, so that said, Islam does not treat tarbiyah as a private and isolated affair, and
mm,
it is communal.
mm,
If you look at the Quranic model of the Ummah, I mean, that says that it is a body. If one part suffers, the whole, body also responds. And one of the great scholars of Islam, Ibn Khaldun,
mm,
said in one of his Muqaddimah, and when he argued that character and civilization, rise and fall together
mm,
with the social fabric of the community. So it means that everybody gets the consequence. If the parents don't do what they are supposed to do, their name will go into disrepute. I mean, sadness become, a common thing in their life, because as they grow older, they realize that they can't give birth to more children,
mhm,
and the children that they have given birth to are not making them happy. And this
mm,
is the one of the saddest things that can
mm.
happen to
Correct.
a man. Somebody told me that happiness is the food of the
Oh,
elders,
mm,
because when they are happy, they really feel
yes.
good. So everybody as a society, so the honest answer is that the family plants the seed and gives it the deepest root. Now the
Mm,
school and the society either nourish that root
mm,
or poison the soil
mm,
around it. And when
mm,
we ask who is failing, the family should look inward first, but the community and institutions around us cannot be left,
mm.
of the hook too.
Mm, mm. I love that, and I love that analogy of the family actually responsible for planting the seed, and ensuring
Giving
that
it
it
the
has
best roots.
giving it the best roots. Then the society, helps in nurturing. So, like you said, the family is the foundation. Every other thing is either nourishes it or
Erodes it.
erodes it. That's really insightful. And well, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And when you mentioned Ibn Khaldun now, and that his famous work, the muqaddimah. And that reminded me of my studies then concerning some of these people, and for the fact that actually Ibn Khaldun actually is more like the father of sociology even before people like Augustin Comte. But then it is what it is. So in today's digital age, because this is the kind of world that we live in today, so young people are influenced by social media as much as they are influenced by their parents. So now, how can families compete with these powerful influences without becoming disconnected from their children? The children watch a lot of things, they interact on the social media, and at the same time, they also still live with the parents. So it's like a competition, or for the attention of these children actually. So the parents are there, the social media, which is also very, very attractive to them, is also there. So how do parents navigate, families navigate these powerful influences without, getting disconnected from their children?
Yeah, so after a very deep thought, I find it almost comfortable to say that social media is taking the place of parents. Now, if you look at children, when they go to school, they don't go with their phones. They don't give any attention to social media while they are in school because they are focused on their studies. Now, the moment they leave the school and come back home, you realize that they are 100% on social media. The parents are absent. The social media has replaced them. Now, where the parent is present, I saw a clip this morning where in the 90s, somebody gave food to his child and the child pushes the food away. Then the man brings a slippers or a belt. Then the child draws the food back and start eating. Now, today, when you give food to a child, or maybe a snack to a child, and he pushes it away, then you bring your phone as a kind of social media. Look at this, look at this. So yeah, eat your food. Then the child will now look at it and smile and now take the food and start eating. Now, that sounds very deep for me. It means that the parents have replaced themselves with social media to the extent that even a year-old child, a 2-year-old child is given the phone to distract him or her so that the parent can do something else. Now, in Islam, there are two basic principles that we need to apply here. The first one is the Prophet emphasized on companionship. And this is what is called family time. We must have a kind of family time with our children. Like you said, connect with them. Now, connection does not occur in absence or in abstract. If I want to connect with a friend on social media or on phone, I must pick my phone. I must dial. The phone will not connect with my friend automatically. So parents must make effort to ensure that they are very close to their children.
They activate that connection.
Exactly. So that their children can be very free to be able to show them anything they have seen on social media. So we have mentioned connection before correction. I've also mentioned that there's a need for companionship. Now, show me your friend, and I'll tell you who you are. Parents also need to know who are the friends to their children. Growing up, I can't just take any friend home. If I'm going to take a friend home, it is a friend that I am sure that has a good character. Because your parents will look at the person before they even allow that person to come into your house. So what are some of the practical things that we can do? Don't just restrict access. You have to be present in the digital space with your children. Ask what they are watching and try to watch with them and laugh with them. And don't criticize them. Even if what they are watching is a bit wrong, don't start with criticism. Watch with them and take a pause. Now, replace interrogation with curiosity. Don't say, what are you doing on your phone? Why don't you say, can you show me what is funny on your phone? So the child is willing to now show you the phone and say, okay, daddy or mommy, see, this is very funny. Don't say, what are you doing on your phone? And the child try to hide at that time because it's not sure. Then build a strong, emotional bond with your child in a way that anything they think they see and is not good enough, they try to show you. Because secrecy, disconnection breeds secrecy. And secrecy is where harm now start to grow. And in secrecy, your child start to do a lot of things that they cannot that they cannot show to you.
Mm.
So it is important that we try as much as possible to connect with these children and now teach them how to discern what is good from what is bad. You know, the Quran tells us, "Fal amara ujuraha wa taqwa.
Mm.
Qad aflaha man zaka wa qad khaba man dassa."
Mm.
Every soul Allah has given that knowledge to be able to disproportionate what is good and what is wrong. And if you now continue to purify your soul, Allah says you'll be successful.
Mhm.
But if you continue to corrupt your soul,
Mm.
then you are going to, you know, to fail. So social media is there as the major tool to corrupt the soul of people, because you can imagine the kind of content that people are accessing on social media.
Mm.
May Allah save us and assist us as parents.
Allahumma ameen. Allahumma ameen. Let me ask this question before we actually go on break. I know that the other time we're talking about the fact that people send their children to even memorize the Quran, they send their children to Quranic school. So we have people who know the Quran,
Mm.
who attend mosque regularly,
Mm.
and even excel academically.
Mhm.
But at the same time, their conduct really do not, their conduct does not reflect these values of either education or the Islamic training that they're acquiring and the likes. So, why is there that? Why is there such a wide gap between knowledge that they have acquired and the character, which is actually meant to be a manifestation of the knowledge that they possess?
So this tension or this controversy has always been there, and it is one of the things that is troubling very great scholars, because they find it very difficult to, I mean, imagine that in spite of the knowledge that you have, you still engage in some of these immoral things. So Imam Ghazali in is the opening of his book, Ihya Ulumuddin, you know, now told us why he came about writing that book. He said at that time he saw a jurist of his own time, a jurist of his own time who has mastered fiqh very well, Islamic jurisprudence, yet is very hulu when it comes to just remain as just information. It cannot even benefit the person that knows it. So how do you what do you see of a child who has memorized Uwailun lil Mutaffifin, that complete surah that Allah causes those who engage in cheating, I mean in trade.
Yes.
Yet this person who has memorized the Quran cheats in his trade. I remember those days that of Unilag, I used to be the asset maintenance officer. So we wanted to change the windscreen of the MSS bus. So we took it to Owodioni, and the guy, you see an abandoned vehicle, but with a very good windscreen. So they want to remove the windscreen and fit into our own. So the guy said, and I've been told there is double, there is single. I said, I want double. He said, Wallahi, this is double. This is this. And we have to wait for them to carefully remove it. At the end of the day, after waiting for about 3-4 hours, all I saw was that it is single. And I said, but you are a Muslim. He said, I will sunnah utaja.
Subhanallah.
Meaning that following the tradition of the Prophet will not move your market. You have to do something else. Now, this is a great, disservice, a great difference between those who actually understand the deen. Now, as the DG of quality assurance in Lagos State, we receive a lot of petition, and it saddens me when I saw a particular petition now that came from a parent that he puts her daughter in a Muslim school, and that Muslim school, sexually aroused the daughter by who? By the Islamic teacher who also doubles as the imam.
Subhanallah.
Of a mosque beside the school. And this is what disheartening, very disheartening.
Very, very disheartening.
People that are supposed to be trustworthy, that you're supposed to put all your trust in their care, are now people who are violating those trusts.
Who have betrayed the trust.
Who are betraying the trust. Thank you. And this is where the question is very, very relevant. There's a big gap between mere having religious knowledge and your actual,
Action.
conduct. So you can recite the Quran, train your tongue to recite the Quran. You can be very present in the mosque every time they are praying in the mosque. You can pass the exam by memorizing everything. None of this automatically trains your heart or trains your habit. Now, training your habit and training your heart requires a bit of tadabbur, reflection, sincere intention, muhasaba, being accountable, and ensuring that you have a sound character. And I think this is what we should always look out for when we are trying to entrust our, children or anyone to any scholar whatsoever. We have to be sure that they are not only good in the knowledge, they are also sound in character.
Alhamdulillah, I mean, well, the story you just, the example you just gave now, it really struck me, and it's so much disheartening that the people that we actually expect to, be trustworthy, and that reminds me of, the tradition of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that when trust is lost, expect, the hereafter, expect the last hour. So it shows quite well that we are. You see, these are signs of end times, really, because it's unimaginable that in a Muslim school, like you mentioned, the Islamic studies teacher, who is the imam of the mosque that is beside, the school, is actually even the one now, molesting or harassing, a female child. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from such fitna. You're still listening to Everyday Muslim Show on Women Radio at 1.7 FM. We'll go on a short break. When we return, program continues. Please stay with us.
هل لك سر عند الله بينك أنت وبين الله هل لك صدقات تخفى لا يعلمها إلا الله هل لك سر عند الله بينك أنت وبين الله هل لك صدقات تخفى لا يعلمها إلا الله قصص لا تكشف إلا بكتابك حين ترى الله ما أحراك بهذا أن يكبر قدرك عند الله قصص لا تكشف إلا بكتابك حين ترى الله ما أحراك بهذا Do you know Islam is it's a way of life for all It is taught in the Quran for big and small. A way of life. Islam is a way of life, a complete way. Do you know Islam says, it says that life's the greatest test. It says that life's a borrowed space, returned upon rest. A way of life, a way of life. Islam is a way of life, a complete way. Islam solves all of our problems. Allah leaves no stone unturned. Perfect with no flaws at all are the laws of Allah. Islam is a complete way. to complete.
Wow, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. It's a complete way. You're still listening to Everyday Muslim on Women Radio 91.7 FM. This is brought to you by the Muslim Public Affairs Center, MPAC, in partnership with Women Radio 91.7 FM. And today we are discussing educating minds but losing character. What happened to Tarbiyah? And our guest discussant is Dr. Sulaiman Ogumewa, who is the Director General of the Office of Education Quality Assurance, OEQA, Lagos State. He's a seasoned education professional. He is an education administrator, quality assurance officer, and a counselor with over 25 years of experience. He is a fellow of the Institute of Islamic Finance Professionals and currently serves as the chairman of the board of incorporated trustees of the First Class Muslim Foundation. You can be a part of this discuss by calling the number 07000 917 917 07000 917 917. Our toll free line for the female callers is 0800 1235 917 0800 1235 917. You can also send a message via SMS or WhatsApp to the number 081 55 917 917 081 55 917 917. We are expecting your call. And we are also using this opportunity to also remind you that you can bring your products and services to the attention of the world by advertising them on this program. It's a very, very much open platform for you to utilize for such purposes. We're also seeking your sponsorship to sustain the program. The program is streaming live on YouTube via the Human Radio page. Search Human Radio on YouTube. Click on the page and join to view the studio live and to also send your comments on the live feeds on YouTube. So, like I said, we are discussing we are educating minds but losing character. What happened to Tarbiyah? And our guest discussant is Dr. Sulaiman Ogumewa. All right, sir. Based on what we have discussed so far, if a parent listening to us says, I genuinely want to raise children with strong Islamic values, but I don't know where to start. So, what practical advice would you give them in this regard? Because we have so many people that they also wish to. Although some might say, well, I might not be very strong Islamically, but I wish to have children that would have this, Islamic value. So I want them to be better than me. So how do they start? Because a lot of them feel like, I don't even know where to start. Now that you're even saying that we also have even issues with some of these centers where they learn the Quran or they do some of this. And so how then do we go about this?
Yeah, so the first thing is the mindset. Every parent who has brought a child to this world should know that Allah has given you that wherewithal to be able to train your child. We have seen a pepper seller give birth, train a child, and the child becomes a professor. So don't say, oh, because I cannot read, I cannot write, I can't train my child. So that mindset has to change first and foremost. Secondly, is that you have to focus on your own character first. The character of the parents is very, very important because a lot of children, they absorb far more from what they see you do than what you tell them. So if truthfulness, if patience, if respect are not visibly present with the parents in their own daily lives, in their instructions, how do we think that merely giving instruction to a child will now transform that? So who are you as a parent and what is your character? Do you lie? Do you tell your children to lie? Do you deceive? If you do these things, then your children are not going to just change. They are going to take after you. Secondly is you have to continue to make dua. I remember when I was still in the university, I met a son of a great imam. If I mention the name, a lot of people will know. And that child has a lot of bad character. And I was wondering, what's wrong with the father? Is your father not the so imam? Why are you like this? Yes. Now that brings me so today I'm able to now understand that it is not about a factor of your father being imam or being whatever. I mean, every parent must continue to make dua for their children. In whichever way you can do it, make it a constant thing in your life. Making dua for children is not a one-time thing. It's not one-time appeal. The Quran tells us how different, even prophets of Allah were making dua over their own children. Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam prayed for his offspring. In Surah Al-Ibrahim, chapter 14, verse 40, Zachariah also prayed, alayhi salatu wasalam, prayed for righteous offspring. So Tarbiyah is not purely a human achievement. It is also with divine, support from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we have to continue to ask. Secondly, is that we have to look at the model. Every parent should go and study the model of, Prophet Luqman, as stated in Surah Luqman itself,
chapter 31.
as a living curriculum. Chapter 31, between verses 12 and 19. This is a complete model for us to follow. It begins with Luqman teaching his own children about Tawheed, not associating partners with Allah. Then you move on to the awareness of Allah's knowledge of all things. There are a lot of stories that could back up some of these things. If you just study it and see how you want to implement it, after the awareness of Allah, then that comes to establishing prayers, making sure that you now demonstrate to Allah. Now, when you demonstrate to Allah, the next thing is now to command what is good and forbid what is evil, and to be patient and show humility. In fact, this is absolutely what that curriculum of Luqman is telling us. So as parents, we can model it. It's only telling us that it is belief before behavior. Also, there must be some small, consistent rituals of Islamic family gathering. When you come together as a family, and even if just one verse of the Quran, you read together. One hadith of the Prophet, you read together. And there are books that have been designed for this kind of a thing, that, each family, you have this topic to treat, a kind of a syllabus or scheme that have been designed with content that we can use. If we browse a lot of things, let us also browse some of these things and use it as a family. And like I said before, correct with mercy, correct with love, and not with humiliation. And as much as possible, I want that parents should start to give responsibility to their children at the very early stage. Let them know what they need to do when they wake up in the morning. Let them have this routine. See, life is built on routine. Character is built on routine. You just don't do anything at any time, anyhow. No, you have to do something at a particular time in a particular manner. This is how to build character. This is how parents should, aim at, building their children. And I pray Allah will assist us to be able to do this.
Like you said, that one is an imam does not stop probably your children from even becoming whatsoever. If we can have people like Prophet Noah, and look at what became of his son.
Exactly.
The kind of family that he had. So that we are like this does not mean our children cannot be, the other way. And that's why we need to continue to pray to them. For them, really. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala assist us in this regard. And there is a particular book that I think I have also come across. I think it's called Bahjatul Liqa, Delightful Meeting. It's a book that parents, please, I'm recommending. Delightful Meeting. It's a book that you can actually search, go out there, make findings. If you can get it, it's a book that you can use as like a family get together thing, where you can also nurture yourself spiritually and morally. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us. Now, beyond individual families, this time, what role should religious houses, schools, and community organizations play in reviving a culture of this, nurturing among the younger generation, so that at the end of the day, it's not just about the academics, their knowledge alone. They're also building their character, their spirituality, and their sense of commitment, to their creator, to themselves, and even to their fellow human beings.
Yeah. So beyond parents, we have the mosque as also a social institution. Some also call it an educational institution where character and knowledge can be passed. And the first thing I think we have to do as Muslims is to make our mosque more receptive, make our mosque welcoming to our children.
Mm.
Most of the time it's like you force the children to go to the mosque. Um, I try to change mosques sometimes, maybe just go to one particular mosque. And one recurring decimal that I have seen is that it is the old people that you find in the mosque. The young ones are not there, the way they should be there.
It's not attractive to
it's
them.
not attractive to them. I have been some other part of the world, and you realize that you see the youth there, and why are they there? Because there are a lot of activities going on in the mosque that draws their hearts,
To them, yes.
to the place. I remember a scholar giving a fatwa that football is haram, and how did they come to that? Because they said there was a time a particular match was going to be played, and they saw visibly people rushing out of the Kaaba to go and watch the match, and said if something is greater than the Kaaba in your heart, then it is haram.
Allah Akbar.
If something is greater than the Kaaba in your heart, then it is haram. So, but the point I'm trying to make here is there's always an attractiveness that brings people naturally to something. So we need to look at our mosque and see how we can design that. At least on the face value, make it welcoming. Secondly is design khutbah that will address the ongoing issues, not khutbah that will be addressing something that is not even related to the happenings in the society.
Realities.
Yes, because these children can only relate with now. Because when they go on social media, what they see is now. What is happening in Kenya?
Trending.
What is happening in Malaysia? What is happening in Nigeria? What is trending? So we have to bring what is trending back to our khutbah. So that the children can go there. Now, see, growing up, I learned from certain scholars that every time I attend their lectures on Sundays, and I know that whatever that has transpired within the community, Monday to that time, the scholar will say something on it. And so I leave that forum informed. And I feel happy that, yes, even if anybody asks me about what is going on, I can tell you, structure program in the mosque where the youth can get to learn from the elderly ones. You go to the mosque sometimes and you see some parents or some elderly ones, knocking the children on the head and tell them that they are making noise in the mosque, or why are they playing in the mosque? Why would they play in the mosque? Even when during the time of the Prophet, his grandchildren, Hassan and Hussein, one day came into the mosque and the Prophet was in sujood. And he was leading the whole congregation. And you can imagine the number of people that pressed behind the Prophet himself. And these children were climbing on him when he was in sujood. That it took longer than normal time. But a companion said, I thought the Prophet has passed on.
Allah Akbar. Because of the time.
And nobody knew what was happening. So when the Prophet now, raised his head and made it taslim, people were start asking, what happened? And you know what? Said, it is these children, they climbed on my back, and I didn't want to disrupt their play, disrupt their joy, because they are finding joy as they are climbing on the Prophet. If this is the Prophet, sujood is the best position you can be in salat, which shows that you are closest to Allah. And the Prophet could still in his mind accommodate these children on his back at that point. Then it means that there's nothing our kids would do in the mosque that should make anybody now bring out a cane and start beating them and send them away, or send them to the.
So where are you sending them to?
No,
that's the question. And if you're sending them away from a place that is supposed to actually be accommodating to them, where you can actually be able to connect with them and touch their heart.
So some will argue that we're only sending them to the back, we're not sending them out of the mosque. Okay. So
where you will not even be able to know what they are doing.
See them and know exactly what they are doing. Now, our mosque too must also model a bit of transparency and accountability. Because when these youths start to come to the mosque, they're going to start asking questions. Why is this like this? Why is this like this?
Why
you want
is the father like to this? Give the history of your own father.
And you don't want the parent to now say that, see, this mosque has been in existence even before your father was born. and this is the way
We've
we
been
have been
doing
doing it.
it.
So we need to, and finally
Allahu Akbar.
is, ensure that the mosque is a place that is safe, and where children can engage in alternative, activities. There's
Yeah.
nothing wrong having a sport or a art or mentorship circle within the mosque
Environment.
premises.
Yeah. All right. So, and these, I believe, also goes to the schools and even the communities, because long were the days where
Absolutely.
we had community centers, gatherings. But unfortunately, just because I don't know, for pecuniary benefits, for financial reasons, we have even sold all these places that are even no recreational centers again within communities. They're like, what are the community development centers? We don't even have community halls again. We don't have, all this. Oh, okay. So, it's really important that we take note of some of these things. So, well, as we wrap up, if we fail to restore this system of nurturing that we call Tarbiyah, what kind of society are we likely to produce in the over the next 10 or 20 years? And on the flip side, what do you think the country would look like if we intentionally raise a generation whose education was matched by sound character and integrity? But before you take that question, sir, we have this comment from one of our listeners. Says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thanks to WFM and MPAC for bringing this program to the airwaves. My greetings to Dr. Sulaiman for his wonderful insights on the show today. I would like him to help us to help understand how parents can deal with the challenge of the internet, being the third parent in the home. We now live in an age where children are being raised by parents at home and digitally on the internet, often each teaching opposing values. How can parents deal with this challenge? More so, parents living abroad who may also be listening to this program. Thanks for the great work you are doing. Then we also have the second comment from one of our listeners as well, Bola. It says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much for this discussion. The guests have said a lot. Our contributions are one. Parents must prioritize being in the lives of their children, not just with money. They should give time to set values, give feedbacks without being judgmental. Two, communal parenting cannot be overemphasized. We keep complaining of
Absolutely.
leadership, but forget that it started from a home or a community. Then three, madaris should not only teach recitation or memorization, but also teach them to be a working Quran or even a walking Quran. Then it says, four, homes should also encourage volunteering and give back to teach selflessness. And finally, it said prayers. May Allah guide us all. All right. Thank you very much, Alaja, for that message.
Yeah, thank you. I cannot but agree with the two comments, and I must also sympathize with those who are training their children abroad. I mean, the challenges are more, I must confess, but God will continue to be with them. They can, listen to this program again and again, pick some of these things that they can pick from it in terms of dealing and handling the internet issues. I can just advise that there are a lot of apps that we can also use as parents to monitor what our children are looking at, what they are viewing from our own phone. There is nothing that is too small for us to do as a kind of a caution.
All right. So very quick, that question. So if we fail to, actually restore this Tarbiyah thing, this nurturing system.
Yeah, so
what kind of society would we
you said in 10, 20 years. I don't think we should wait for 10, 20 years. I mean, look at the society that we have now.
It's scary.
It's scary.
It's scary.
I mean, everywhere seems. I mean, let me just put this in context of Nigeria. There are places that are worse than Nigeria. There are places that are still better than Nigeria, who are not witnessing what we are witnessing now. But I tell you that every part of the world has a challenge in terms of, expectations that we have today. So there's no gain saying what kind of society are we going to find. Just, reflect on what we have today in Nigeria.
And imagine
what is good. If that gets worse, exactly.
On the negative side.
On the negative side, if we fail to do something about it, how is it going to be in 10 years or in 20 years? We Allah forbid that a time will come. I remember an hadith of the Prophet Sallam when he
Sallallahu
said that fasad, evil will take
prevail.
over the whole
Earth.
world. And he said there's a time when a man and a woman will sleep with each other on the street.
I will not be ashamed.
They won't be ashamed. And he said the most righteous person at that time will be the one that will not tell them to leave the main road and go to the side.
Just
I mean,
you will
I'm
not feel.
telling-
I'm not saying
you
don't do
what you
nonsense.
want to do.
Just at
But
least
why don't you
give way.
just say, those are those who will have a bit of faith,
Subhanallah.
And
It's
those
already
prayed.
happened.
God prayed that, oh Allah, I don't want to witness this time.
But it's happening. If people can do that live
Yes,
on social media,
they
post their videos.
a lot of things.
They themselves leak their videos
Exactly.
just to actually trend.
Exactly. So
What I was saying.
I mean, we don't pray for something that's going to be worse than that. But let me just say, for those who are quite conscious of what we have
In
today,
30 seconds.
yes, because if you have a professor, you have a doctor, you have a lawyer that are dishonest, then you can imagine what you are going to have. But however, if we do the right thing, then I tell you that the world becomes better. A world where you won't find a seller, but you will buy something and you keep the money there, you are faithful with it. It has happened before and it can happen again.
Alhamdulillah. Like I said, Jazakumullah khairan to Dr. Sulaiman Ogumiwa for this insight that he has shared for our listeners and those who actually sent in the messages. Jazakumullah khairan. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us a better society. May Allah make us better people, and so that we can also have a better society. We also felicitate with the people, the students, teachers, and communities of Orire local government, your state, who's the abducted people that have just secured their release. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be with them. May Allah give them the wherewithal to overcome such a traumatic experience. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala restore security to Oyo State, to Lagos, to Ogun State, to all parts of Nigeria. May Allah give our leaders wherewithal to actually steer the affairs of this country in the right direction. Jazakumullah khairan. We'd like to thank all of you for this week. Thank you for joining us, and we hope that you will be able to join us same time next week. But before then, don't forget that you can listen again to this episode or other previous episodes of Everyday Muslim on mpac-ng.org, mpac-ng.org. Scroll down and click on the Impact Project to view Everyday Muslim past uploaded episode. Follow Everyday Muslim on social media, Facebook Everyday Muslim, Instagram Everyday Muslim 01 as a single word, Everyday Muslim all in lowercase. Inshallah, the program will make its way back to your airways same time next week. Same station, WFM 91.7. I remain Abdul Hakim Qasim. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Oh, it gets clouded in your mind. To sponsor this program, call the number